haven't been working with watercolor for very long. A quick video on what I've learned about watercolor for my specific watercolor style, like this. So this is my credentials. I like to use them in pans. I don't like to buy pans. I like to take the tubes and put them into pans like this. You can check my last video on how to do that. It's just way better to keep them in a palette like this rather than squeezed out on it. First, you're going to need watercolor brushes. Watercolor brushes, like, they hold much more water than oil or acrylic brushes, so they are quite different. At minimum, they should be like synthetic brushes. So I do prefer like this, synthetic round brushes, which is crazy to say because I'm usually like a flat brush fanatic. But for watercolor, I do prefer round brushes. I always start off with really light washes with very little pigment and then build up pigment as I go. Some parts is like it's light and then I build up from light washes all the way to like very pigmented washes, especially like here in the leaves, in the orange. So I do like to build up my opacity that way. I also believe in not overworking the painting, so try to keep the shape as minimal as possible. I don't like to mix too many colors. There's like just a very flowy feeling. I also like to push the color. Pretend that it's orange, I'll push it more warm, more orange. If it's a shadow, instead of painting it gray, I will go for like a more bluish color for the shadow. See, like this napkin, perhaps in real life, it's like a brown neutral gray napkin. I will push it towards blue. And then that contrast between cool and warm colors makes the painting more interesting, more lively, etc. I also work from big brush into a small brush as I continue to do more pigmented layers. My brush size will get smaller and smaller. The pigment that I'm mixing will get more opaque. And I also work from lightest color to darkest color. So always start from yellow before you hit the orange, because after you put down orange, it's going to be hard to get it back up to like yellow or white again. Same thing with shadows. So always do the lighter shadows first and then build up to the darker shadows. And then, as with anything coming from a background of more opaque mediums, it is kind of hard to get used to how light watercolor will look, especially in the first layers. So you just do need to go into it with like an open mind and just practice and experiment, see what works the best with you in watercolor. Watercolor is genuinely such a lovely medium. I love gouache, but watercolor does have something like so special, like a very unique charm, that as I learn it, it is slowly becoming more enjoyable for me. I actually start to love it for its airiness. I hope you enjoy.